In so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head. Geronda. When someone is not needy but pretends to be, should we help him? Christ said, we should give to him who begs from us without examining. Even if someone who begs from you is not in need, you should still give to him. Be happy in giving to him. God himself maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust. So why should we not help our neighbor? Are we worthy of all the gifts granted to us by God? God does not deal with us according to our sins, nor reward us according to our iniquities. Is some poor person asking you for help? Even if you doubt his situation, you should still help him discreetly so that you are not tempted by negative thoughts. Do you know what Abba Isaac says? If someone on horseback should stretch out his hand and ask alms of you, do not refuse him, for at that moment he is certainly in need. You never know what state he may be in. You should believe what the other person tells you and give as you are asked. If we have, for example, only 1,000 drachmas and we give them to a poor person and are troubled for not having more to give, then in addition to the blessing, the money given, we also place Christ in a good restlessness into his conscience. This action of ours will trouble him, because he will constantly be thinking about a merciful person who, together with the 1,000 drachmas, also gave him his compassionate heart. This may force him to return anonymously the money exacted or even more. Something similar has happened to me. Once when I was in Thessaloniki, a woman stopped me. She appeared to be a gypsy and asked for money for her children because her husband was sick. I only had a 500 drachma note and I gave it to her. Please forgive me, I told her, but I do not have any more to give you. If you like, take my address and write to me how your husband is doing, and I will try to send you some more money from the holy mountain. After a short time I received a letter containing 500 drachmas and the following note. Thank you for your kindness. I am returning the money you gave me. When someone gives alms with a truly compassionate heart, the beggar is touched by the authentic love by Christ, and will himself begin to give rather than to gather. But even if the beggar is very hard-hearted and continues to gather, he himself will not enjoy what he has gathered, for God will ensure the money finds its rightful place, and the beggar will be left with only the weariness and the trouble of the collection. Let us call it that which he took for others. Geronda. How much then should someone give? Someone should give as much as will not trouble his conscience. Discernment is important. He should not give 100 and then be sorry that he did not give 50. Much attention is needed when someone has love with a lot of enthusiasm. It is then good to be a little conservative with his love and enthusiasm, so that he will not regret having given too much to an unfortunate person, when less could have been given, and thus be left empty-handed himself. Gradually he can acquire experience and give according to the self-renunciation he has. Geronda. If someone asks for unreasonable things, should we give in? In that case, one needs discernment and even more discernment. If someone asks you for things just to have and admire them, let him have them. You see, Jesus Christ did not say to Judas, "What kind of an apostle are you? Get rid of your avarice." Instead, he made him treasurer. But if, for example, someone asks you to give him a tin of marmalade, which you have, and you know that he has a whole case of it when another person has none and needs some, then tell the person who has and is asking for more, "Brother, if you like, why don't you also give a little to so and so who has none?" If there is no one who is in need, then give it without telling him anything, since he has asked you for it. Perhaps this offering, if there is a chord of sensitivity in the recipient, will move him to correct himself. In these cases, we apply what Saint Paul said: when your enemy harms you and you in turn do him good, you place burning coals upon his head. This does not mean that you actually burn him, but when you do good to him, then the law which is Christ begins to work in him, and divine grace is activated. Then the man can be transformed because his conscience bothers him. That is, he is burnt by his conscience. But it is not right to do good for the purpose of censuring another and forcing him to be prudent, for this weakens the good done. Good should be done with love. When you avenge the wrong with kindness and goodness, then the person can be changed in the good sense and be corrected. In Konica, there was a drunkard who had a family. I used to give him something. Some people had learned that I was helping him because he himself would tell them, and they told me, "Don't give to him, he drinks," but he would tell me, "Give me something for my children," and when giving, I would say to him, "Take this for your children." I knew that he drank, but I also knew that this word would also help a little. He would drink, but he would also think of his children a little. If I had not given him anything, he would have tormented his wife and taken the money she earned by working as a cleaning lady to drink and cause even greater suffering to his children. But when I told him, "Take this for your children," he did remember his children a little, you see. I felt pain for him and his family, and this was obvious to him and was active in his inner being. Many have been helped in this manner. Some, because their conscience troubled them, would send the money back. By reasoning, we do not allow Christ to do his work. It is time to learn the true gospel, to be truly evangelical persons, not Protestants.